All right, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin.
I'm Tasia.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family relationships, and recaps of this crazy reunion first half that we just saw. We're here on the West Coast, so listen, y'all know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, see us in the comments, and because we're live, we're going to see you right now in the chat stream. Let us know as you're coming in, as you're here. Let us know where you're watching from. Say what's up. Let us know you're here. But also make sure you share. Give us some likes. That way it helps YouTube know we're about to talk about this.
We're about to get in it.
First of all, let me get my Corey. I don't know why I do the stuff I do. All right. That was it.
Shout out to Corey.
Shout out to Corey.
Hanging in there.
First Date King. We don't know what's going on with that. We'll see.
Can't wait till next Friday. See what happens.
What up, ISIS, DC, PG County?
Hey, DC, PG County.
We might need you to ship us some mambo sauce. Yes, we know about the mambo sauce.
About the mambo sauce and the chicken wings.
All right. So let's just jump into it. It was...
Well, first, shout out to Tommy. He had COVID.
Yes.
Couldn't make the reunion. He didn't want to spread any more stuff that was already being spread.
But then it's interesting because they got everybody packed up on the stage anyway.
Tight, right? I
was
like, okay.
Like
I get it. Tight.
So we have, I forgot her name, but she was hosting it. So we kick off with Sean. So at least this time they kind of took some of the forgotten folks because Sean was there for a hot minute. And kind of brought them to the forefront early. So we kicked off with Sean and his hallelujah moment after he got dismissed and kicked off.
Well, he felt pressured, right? Like he came in the middle. Mm-hmm. Everybody started, feeling other people. And so he's trying to play catch up and trying to figure out, okay, who does he really have a connection with?
Right.
But he wanted to have babies. And we were like, even go back to the tape. We were like, Tasia would be a good match for him.
She would have been a good one.
And I'm like, he's like, okay, I like the girl a little thick. And she was saying all the right things. So I'm like, but was everything else off about her that you didn't feel enough connection?
Right.
That she could have been someone that you could have gotten to know a little bit better, but he felt the pressure. He was under fire. I think Sabrina really burned him out quick.
Sabrina's friends gave that man PTSD. That brother is not going to go on any dates with friends for a long time. He was shell-shocked, right? And yes, I said Shiloh was missing. We'll cover that in a moment because I got some thoughts on that one.
I love crab cakes too.
Yes. All right. But yeah, so Sean was like, listen, it was... He felt pressure to find something that wasn't there.
Right.
And say what you will about some of these individuals. I think for this season, we did see a lot of self-elimination.
Right.
Because you did have those that said, well, look, what I was looking for, what I wanted is not here or it's not here anymore.
Right.
So let me go ahead and not fake the funk for the process.
Right.
So Sean kind of did that. He had options, I thought
he had at least one.
Again, we're not choosing for him. He got to live with whoever he chooses, right?
And he decided not to.
And then here's the thing: Sean is an actor. He wasn't looking for a mate. Well,
that is probably possible
too.
We'll see what he end up on.
Yeah.
Any Netflix movies or something.
Yeah, if y'all see him, I Can Do Bad All by Myself, Part 39. Your arms too short, box with God and His angels. right? You're gonna be on the chicken, what they call it, the chitlin circuit.
The chitlin circuit.
All right, and then maybe was it just us because everybody looked red.
Yeah, in the filming, and we couldn't. I was like, our TV ain't that old. We got flat screen,
right? I mean,
and so I thought it was just maybe something in when they were filming or anything.
Some coloring was off because everybody looked like they were red. Oh yeah, the Negro comment. He said the Negro Inquisition. Homeboy felt like he was being being tortured almost. It was just like, listen.
Well, he was sweating there. Did you see the beads coming off of his bald head while he was sitting there? I was like, someone give him a napkin because he already feel under attack when he's not even being attacked at this moment. So.
Also, Isis said he was in a local commercial there for a car company, Mercedes. Yeah, okay, so you might be trying to expand his repertoire a little. Okay.
Everybody got to eat.
Hey, because remember, he didn't have no job, is what kind of what we kept hearing, right?
I mean,
he was a journalist / content creator, so
hey, he has a hustle.
Everybody got to have a hustle, especially in 2022. You got to have a hustle. You got to have like 15 hustles just to make it in this economy. All right, and then Phil and Sydney, we find out that they are exclusive,
which we thought was going to be like, okay, they're a perfect match. They seem very authentic in who they are and how they were matching up. So I was excited to see that. And like Sydney says, like he wasn't running up on her like everybody else was. So she was looking for the calm, laid back dude. Right. And he came through.
Yeah. And I think that's for in this situation, I think what stood out to Sydney was, like you said, everybody was checking for her because when she walked in, all eyes was like, whoa.
Right.
But because he was like, look, I'm not going to be that bull that runs down and tries to hit everything. I'm a slow walk and see what's available. It was attractive to her, right?
Yeah, Phil was doing that, like, you going to come to me. I ain't running to you,
Yes,
he was kind of like, okay.
Phil was I appreciate the fact that he made a decision with Sydney, but really Phil was hedging his bets all throughout.
Yeah,
Phil was never going to give you. And that was probably part of the issue with Shiloh. He never gave a full, a direct answer on things. Right. Now we can talk about Shiloh was not there, as we talked about earlier. Right. And yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Maybe that's why Shiloh didn't come. We don't know, so it's only speculation at this point, right? They didn't address it and say that she had an illness or she had, because Tommy, we know, was sick.
Correct. And in the past, other cast members that couldn't make the reunion, they always mention, okay, they can't make it because there was some conflict.
Or they even have, I think they did one time, they did like just a quick film of them.
Oh yeah, and they gave some words or remarks.
So for Shiloh not to show up, with everything that happened, I'm curious, and I'm not, again, we understand both sides of that whole argument. Get it.
Correct.
But she may not have wanted to revisit that on the reunion special, and so therefore may have bowed out.
Correct.
Don't know.
Which makes sense, right? Because if she stays consistent with what she was saying, then I wouldn't want to put myself back through that or have to relive that or see that again.
Right.
So I hope that she's doing well, and I hope that she's get to a point where there's true healing so she can find real love.
Yep.
So
real love. All right. And then Camille. Now, y'all need to go back.
See,
I'm not a prophet. I am prophetic.
I didn't know she actually admitted to having multiple personalities, because you mentioned it saying this chick has multiple personalities. I was like, okay, you might be taking this a little far. But she just said it, which she probably won't believe she said it, because when she said something else, she didn't believe she said it. But she told Dante she had multiple personalities.
She was like, and what were the names? She said Shay, and Olivia.
Yes. Okay.
It's one thing to, to maybe flip out, what have you.
Right.
But when you start naming your personalities, when you start naming your characters,
and Dante was thinking she was for real.
You might think you joking, but you might be actually serious.
I was done. I was like, oh my God. She really got two other, and she got names.
Those are just the ones that she's discovered.
That she discovered.
There's about 13 others inside of her.
Shut up.
Her name is Legion.
Shut up. Oh no. We didn't go there, did we?
Yeah, we went there.
Okay, moving on.
Right. But she's booed up with Cornelius.
They're still together. We're still asking him to blink twice if he needs help.
No, bruh man has drunk the Kool-Aid. He is completely under her spell. To the point where kind of there were some things said as far as
some of the ladies,
how she was acting, how Camille was acting.
Right.
And Camille, of course, was like, well, it's editing. It's just the editing. Sabrina was over on the side like, it's only so much editing that can be done. Because again, they're gonna work with what they have.
Right. And because you're coming up with the same type of attitude and personality, okay, yeah, it makes for a good show. She did indicate that she was into theater. So was she playing towards the cameras and creating this, alter ego, personality, whatever. But at the same time, you also making excuses for what they're doing.
You said Camille and Cornelius look like the pastor and first lady at a Southern Baptist church. I'm gonna leave that alone. Listen.
I totally agree.
Because if y'all don't know, we are pastors of a church here in Phoenix.
I still agree.
We agree. Yes.
I've seen enough of it.
We've seen it. And especially, yes, in North Carolina. Yeah.
You throw a rock and hit a church. Bless the Lord.
Yeah. And Camille, nothing against first ladies.
Oh no.
But if you want to talk about if we're just going to say that they look like they could be pastor first lady, when you talk about the caricature of a first lady that is aggressive, that is causing ruckus, that has more problems in the church, yeah, Camille fits the bill.
He said she fits the bill.
She fits the bill.
Oh my gosh.
And so Aisha started piping up, and then they kind of was like, well, they were like, let's go to break. And Camille was like, we still ain't addressing the issue of her saying what she's been saying.
And I'm just like, for me, I'd be like, just leave it alone. Because at this point, she is not going to come and say, I apologize.
You're a fly first lady, Tasia.
I'm a fly first lady.
You're a fly first lady. Hey.
So I'm just thinking like, this is going to be a fight. Because she's not going to say, you know what? I overreacted. That's all they want them. They want her to just realize, okay,
have ownership.
I was a little bit disrespectful. She might minimize it, but still just say, you know what? I went over the top because I was really feeling this man, and I could have brought it back.
Right.
That's all they were asking for. But
I was trying to give y'all ratings. Y'all didn't like it.
I was trying to give you ratings.
Right. But I think that what, especially when you come to the reunion special, part of the whole, it's almost like an autopsy, if you will, of the show.
Correct.
Because then it's like, okay, where did okay, you said that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But yes, it's an autopsy. So you want people to take ownership and accountability for their actions, right? And she's not willing to do that. No. I'll say it this way, because in my notes I said this a little later, because there's other parts where Cornelius doesn't have a backbone, in my opinion.
Well, and again, it comes to because I'm looking at even the ex that showed up. So I'm like, is this woman that you're no longer in a relationship? Was she possessive? Like, I'm trying to figure out how this is attractive to him.
Right.
And maybe again, now Courtney says, and I know we haven't gotten to her, but Courtney was like, I pursued him. I had no problem getting around Camille when I wanted to see him. Right. And she didn't. She was very forthcoming, like, but he didn't reciprocate. Right. But he did like that he wasn't the one that was pursuing. Right. He liked that the women were pursuing him. Yep. And so I'm thinking that's his thing. He wants a woman to be like fighting for him and all over him. And it comes over when we see it, it's controlling. But for him, I think that's just the thing for him.
Yeah, I mean, so because even the fellas, because one thing that they did a little differently this time was that they had the whoever was on stage, they had them backstage, and they had the camera on them, so we caught their reactions.
Right.
And the fellas, when they showed the clip of Camille calling him a country bumpkin and what have you, a couple of the fellows like, whoa, mad disrespectful. Because I'm sorry. Listen.
Yep.
We've been married 25 plus years. We ain't never called each other out of our names.
Exactly.
And I'd have an issue with that. So you just dating this woman and you gonna take that? You just met her and taking that? Nah, bro. Cornelius and Naim went out sad defending their ladies of terrible actions. Yeah, we're gonna get on Naim in a little bit too. Because I agree with Sydney. He needs a peach. he gonna be on the next episode of Real Housewives of the Potomac or Georgia, whichever one. Camille is his beer. Cornelius definitely plays for the other team. I'm not touching that. Allegedly. We're just going to put the allegedly there. He doesn't pursue because it's not what he wants. He wants Keith, not Camille. Listen, again, allegedly. Y'all not going to have folks coming after us. He and Zadia are perfect for each other. Yeah, as far as Naim, we're going to get to them. But so it's looking at them and Cornelius and Camille. It's just,
hey,
if it works for them, it works for them. If they're happy,
they're happy. Let's go on to Tyrone.
Yes, better call on Tyrone.
Call.
All right.
So here's Tyrone, and they're talking about him having too many people on his plane, as he stated, and someone had to leave, right? So. You slow. I was pitching it to you.
So yes. So Tyrone, I'm sorry. I'm going through your comments. Listen.
Look, let it go. We can pray for you right now. Cornelius wanted Camille.
No, but Kim has a good point from a church perspective. That's not the order. It's he that finds a wife, not he that gets trapped and
we get it. We get it. We need to pray for him that he's released. That's all we can do.
My faith ain't gonna override his willingness to sit there and be kept in there.
That's true. But we got other people on the show, and they need their time.
So Tyrone, y'all remember Tyrone basically said, look, I got my airplane.
Right.
I'm piloting this thing.
Correct.
I ain't got room for Carrie.
And the way he told Carrie.
And then he put it on Carrie like, you're aggressive.
Right.
And Carrie's like, okay.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Right.
I was pursuing you. Everyone else was
giving you I got your number. I gave you my number just like she gave you her number.
Right. So slow down. What?
So he did acknowledge that his delivery was wrong.
Right.
That he could have worded it better. And I think that's what we said kind of in the beginning. We get what he was trying to say, but the way he communicated it left a bad taste in the mouth, right? Sure. It was just like,
oh, sure.
You saying that I'm aggressive and it's not. Okay.
Oh my gosh. So then from there they had.
Hold on, wait, no, we got.
What?
So yes, I did see the photo shoot that Camille and Cornelius did on Instagram.
They did a whole photo shoot.
They did a photo shoot.
Okay, so she making her stamp no DMs.
I'm trying to be respectful, y'all. I'm trying to move on, y'all.
Let them move on. Put the comments up so everybody else can see what's going on. I'm gonna help you move on.
Okay.
So I started talking about how they keep switching them in and out, and some of these people not even get a chance to talk. Yes. I'm like, okay, is our host not like making sure that everyone gets something to say? You just throwing these people out here. I mean, it got to the point where even the guys was like, why is Walter sitting out there just looking like a boss, but not saying nothing, not even a part of it?
That brings us back into, because we're back into we can't get away from Courtney and Cornelius and Camille because they took over the show, right? But there was basically they had the brown skin girl crew out there and talking about that. And yes, the question was, why was Walter on the stage? Because it was like Aisha and Mumin and Sabrina and all of them. And then Walter was just sitting over there like.
Right. Like, hopefully I don't fall asleep in this segment because I'm not doing anything. And then even the dudes from the backstage was like, well, why is Walter out there? Because this is when Sabrina was piping up. It's like, look, y'all two, y'all started this brown girl thing, and then she's like, here we are, different shades of brown. And again, we get into colorism, right? So that's one thing, even internally as a culture, we're dealing with.
Right.
And they're like, you were mean, you were nasty. And then she's like, what? How are you going to start talking about me? She's like, what about friends? Oh, don't ever tell Sabrina about talking about being friends or talking to her. She's like, you never talked to me. Sabrina went off. I think Sabrina, she's like, I want to get in that girl right now. But Sabrina's like, I'm going to hold my composure.
Sabrina is one of those, whereas Zadia would probably try and square up. Sabrina is one of the ones, she strikes me as the one who's going to cut you with her words and then still sit there, legs crossed, looking at you and just like, okay. So Sabrina brings she has a way of cutting you.
She has a way of cutting you, but I don't put it across Sabrina.
But if she needs to square up, I think Sabrina could square up.
Because she asked, like, do I have to take off my shoes when they were getting too close to the end?
That's true.
So if anybody who wanted to fight that night,
true.
Sabrina was the one coming to fight. Like, I'm ready to fight because I'm tired of y'all, and then tired of y'all not just telling the truth.
So she was like, you can't say foul stuff and do foul stuff and then act like you're the victim in this.
Right.
Because that's what Zadia and Camille were doing throughout the night, pretty much was acting like they're just so innocent, they're just so great friends, and they just love everybody. And if it were just one person that had an issue with them, we could say, okay, that's a personality conflict.
Correct.
If it was two people that had an issue with them, then we could say, okay. But if the majority of the other ladies on the platform are saying, no, y'all foul.
Correct.
Y'all foul.
So that's where it comes. Naim like talking about, at the beginning, everybody wanted Zadia. Like, they were like, what? Dude, like, how are we supposed to know this? What are you talking about? Your hand was in the sand.
So here's the thing. I can understand, yes, a lot of the men may have been attracted to Zadia first day. Get it. But I can tell you they did not feel that way after a while. Why? Because they got to know her.
Right.
Because here's the thing.
Because I think even after they had that retreat, everybody started looking at her a lot different.
Because there are people that you are attracted to, that you find, that you look at them, you're like, oh my goodness, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And then you talk to them.
And then you want to stop talking to them.
And then you're like, nah, I'm good. Time out. Flag on the play. We call those long distance relationships. They look great from afar, but when you get up close, So the fact, and so Naim, someone said it in one of the comments earlier, Naim needs to worry about not being second fiddle because he's wrapped his arms around Zadia like that's his boo. She wasn't checking for you, homie.
Was not.
You wasn't in her top two.
Consolation prize.
And there was only two. Basically, it was you and the other guy. You still weren't considered a number two because she didn't stick around for you. She didn't try and or she got kicked off. True,
right?
But she didn't try and come back and do anything. She showed emotion over Dante. She ain't showed that emotion over you.
Right.
So Naim jumping into the conversation and saying that what he said, it was like, dude, you
don't stir this pot. Don't put your finger in it.
You don't have anything to say about this.
No, because you don't know what you're talking about. Because again, I don't think he was emotionally available. He was not present. Because all the other dudes, and that's why I think Cindy was like, nah, y'all gotta check him. And I think maybe just in general, maybe the men didn't see everything that was going like from the ladies' lounge and how they were carrying themselves into the point. And maybe that's why they couldn't really say anything. But for the most part, you have to like, look, what she did was not right. It's just disrespectful.
Yeah. Tree says Sabrina stood up tonight. We appreciated that. Zadia ran.
She was gone.
Naima, yeah.
She went that smoke.
Zadia had the energy with Aisha, but she didn't keep that same energy with Sabrina. That's a good point.
That's right, because I think Sabrina will follow through.
And I don't put it past Aisha either.
I don't put it.
I think Zadia is a lot more bark than bite.
Right, but I think she's the type of person you have to be in her face because she really, I think genuinely she just wanted to get her point across and for them to recognize it. That's all she wanted. But the more they kept doubling down that they didn't do anything, the more Maisha like, listen, I know what I'm seeing. She's like, I'm not crazy. She asked like, am I crazy or not? Right. So
yeah. So yes, I agree. Naim looked like a clown. I'm sorry. Let's just it was like, dude. Quiet. So when Sydney did say you need a peach, I don't know if you caught the reference.
No.
But yeah, basically she was saying you need to be on the next season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because they all give all the women peaches. So basically, yeah, now you are the male member of the Brown Skin Girl Club. Cool. But here's the thing. You still don't look like you're really getting Zadia. You get, because Zadia still ain't showing that emotion towards you. She ain't showing that.
Right.
She ain't willing to get in your face.
Right.
Now she'll probably knock you upside your head and you'll probably be like, yes, ma'am, may I have some more?
Wow. Okay. All righty.
I'm sorry.
As we move on to Frank.
So yes. Listen, y'all know I don't pull punches. At least I say what's on my mind. Oh, and then did you catch this when they were talking about that whole thing about the argument where at the resort where we'll get into where Camille was talking about she didn't say I'll F y'all up. But Zadia had said something at the table about you don't have a connection. I don't know if you all caught this, but Aisha said, I took your connection. Aisha was on the stage like, I took your connection home, girl. You thought you had that connection with Dante. I took it.
And maybe that's why she was mad. That was why it made her mad, and even more mad with Dante, because I thought we were connected, but she took my connection.
She slid right in there. She slid on that massage table.
She sure did.
And from that point on,
hey, I love a good massage.
You said Cornelius and Naim both need a piece. Yup.
Yolanda said, I missed it, girl. Go back and look at it again.
So then, yeah, so Momine and Frank. Yes. So
nothing? Hold on. Nothing? You didn't even try Frank? Frank, you didn't even call her out. So you stood on the beach confessing your love or your strong like. And y'all leave the beach and you never called the girl again? That's the worst ghost I ever seen in my life. You can see it. You can see him while he was sitting there like, he was like, he couldn't stand the pressure because he knew where it was going to lead. She was like, I felt so bad for her. She's like, all these women said you weren't ready, but I was willing to trust what you were saying.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Frank.
That was a big disappointment. I was disappointed a little bit too.
Because, Frank did talk a great game. He seemed sincere at points, but again, his inability, because again, we were pointing out there were two different women, completely different. So it wasn't like these women kind of give me the same vibe, the same feel, and I'm having a difficult decision.
Right.
It was basically, in looking back on it now, it was like you're choosing between two options, but neither one is your best option.
Well,
for at least as far as what he's thinking.
I think he had two good options. I think that Frank got scared because the first thing he mentions, like, I got hurt in the past. So whatever you can't get over, you decide to put it on her.
Right.
And push away before you even get an opportunity to get her. Hurt people. And he didn't show up. It was like he was afraid to show up.
Yeah.
I was like, dude. So it was just like, it was based off of what he was giving out. It was like it was a surprise.
Yeah.
I am pretty shocked.
Yeah. And y'all remember Mumin's dad, so who was it? Yolanda just put
That's why he was sweating.
Yeah, because Mumin's pops is probably looking for him right now.
Listen, you don't have to look for him.
So Frank did an interview, said after the show the show ended, he went straight into therapy. He also dropped a lot of behind the scenes team. Yeah, and here's the thing. I think that, but still, that should at least have been a conversation to have. through this process, I choose you, but I recognize maybe I'm not the best me right now. That doesn't mean you cut her off and ghost her completely. And that's essentially what Mumin is saying, is that he just cut her off completely.
Yeah, like she didn't know what happened.
Right.
You know, and I think communication is a key. Like all this time you've been communicating how you felt about her and how you felt about Sydney. So I can see the optimism that she was taking, right? Because of the way he was communicating, being authentically open. And so if he felt like he needed therapy, then that would have been a good time. Like, you know what? I choose you and I can see you in my future, but I need to do some things.
Right.
I think that would give her closure. Anyone who's in a relationship where all of a sudden the person just leaves without any closure, it just leaves an open wound. Yeah. You know,
so there's a couple of comments that you guys are making that, you know, let us know what you think. Because who is it? Tree said doesn't believe that Frank likes women of color. You saw his ex, it was not surprised to you. I hear that, but the thing I'm thinking is that he came on ready to love, right?
Right.
So this isn't
predominantly black. It's going to be black.
It's not predominantly. It's black.
It's black.
It's blacker than black.
Right.
Right. And it's in DC, so it's Chocolate City through and through.
Right. You should have went on The Bachelorette.
Yeah. or some Married at First Sight or something else, right? If you wanted that as an option. So I don't necessarily agree with the fact that he doesn't particularly care for women of color. I think that he just may not have been fully ready. And I agree who Isis has said that he was just trying to get to the end. I think unfortunately too many times what we're seeing on this is that there is this let me make it to the end and not build a genuine connection, because again, Walter, and we haven't really heard from Walter in
not yet
in this portion of the reunion. So we'll probably hear next time. But Walter really did not have a strong connection with Sabrina. He had a connection because they kind of had a connection at the beginning, but so it was Walter just also trying to make it to the end. And that's the thing I think for Frank, was that this was a make it to the end type of thing. And it's unfortunate.
Or it could be a revelation, right? Like, so you go through this process, now the camera's off and you have time to process, because some people take longer to process things. So maybe he had to have the opportunity to process, but the thing is he got into therapy. So, but he just messed up at the very end of it all by just not just filling people in. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I think Frank was there to push his brand. So I think that I can agree with that. I think that there may have been, especially because we saw him first episode, like shaking up his shakers. And then Walter was an actor too. So that's the problem, I think, too often, is that many times, and again, I don't know the full process, but I know that it's casting specials and things of that nature. So there is also that putting myself out there, you have to filter, are they out there for love or are they out there to get recognized, to get seen, right?
Correct.
So we'll see how that is. Okay, so Ravine said, Frank said in an interview that he wasn't used to dating black women. Okay, so that may also be a part of it, because there are differences, whether we want to realize it or not. There's some differences when you are dating interracially. Let's just say it that way.
Yep.
Question Jacob had was, do they get paid by the episode? I know typically with reality shows, you are paid kind of
like a
stipend for filming, and that increases, of course, as you continue to go on. So it's possible that there's also some financial incentive.
But more so, as long as you're on TV, right? Your Instagram go up, your followers go up.
Right.
You know, whatever you get into, as we've seen previous seasons, you know, all of a sudden they're doing all these night after parties, you know, they're doing these mixers and different stuff. So, but it depends on what type of lifestyle are you planning on leading, right? And how much you want to be in the spotlight. Yeah.
So, and it'll be interesting because they're in DC again.
They are.
At the end of the month.
Yes.
So
they start right back up.
They start right back up, this time with 14 instead of 20. But according to Kamisha Reviews, who is another YouTube channel that I watch, and she has great information. She was saying that she's got information that shows that even though it's 14 to start, they'll probably add some more throughout it. So shout out to Kamisha. And then, we'll definitely be here for those reviews as well. But it's interesting. And then a couple other things that happened just as Tasia kind of gets upset and leaves.
Yeah, she was like, the drama, it's so ghetto. Okay. It's a reality TV show. Throughout the episodes, there was some type of drama.
Right.
But it looks like she was like dealing with the point of being there, because I think they signed a contract saying that they will be there for the reunion special, right?
Right.
But Shiloh didn't come. So Tasia didn't have to come because she was indicating something about her mom was sick or something. But you decided to be there.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, if I'm honest, if my mom's sick, if a close relative of mine is sick,
deuces. I mean,
I appreciate Will Packer. I appreciate Tommy. I appreciate Oprah. I appreciate all of y'all. Gail, even though you're on CBS.
Shut up.
But I'm going to take care of business at home.
Right.
If it's that pressing.
If it's that pressing, then I would. She could have done a remark. They've given time in the past for people to say, hey, I wish I was with you guys. Right. But, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like you just created more drama, right? Because you storm off. Now 2 other women are storming off to find out what's going on with you. Right. And, and I get it. But she came back for the second part of it.
Because we see in the second reunion, the trailer clips for the second portion that she's having a conversation and something's going on with her and Corey. So I don't know.
I hope everything's well with her family.
My opinion as far as Tasia is that, and I think I said this in a previous video, she makes an effort to present herself always in a professional manner, which I get. But she's not authentic as far as what we can see. There's a wall up, there's a guard there. And then there's also kind of the best way to put it, just as far as what comes across, is there's almost like a superiority complex that this person should have done that for me. This person should have done this. Why was I in the bottom? Because remember, she was at the bottom 2 at the very beginning. And she comes the next day and it's like, well, why did y'all put me down here? Da, da, da. Right. It's like, homegirl, listen, relax.
Right.
You still here.
Right.
Take this as an opportunity to see what maybe
you could have been more open.
But yeah, she was just there.
She was just there.
So yes, prayers for her mom. Hopefully everything is good there.
Yes.
But if it's that important, you got to make decisions. And listen, I'm sure Will and Tommy and whomever else would have been like, your mom, we got you. We understand.
You first.
Do an Instagram video. We'll put it out there that you couldn't make it because of that. End of story. Yeah, she does not receive feedback well. She doesn't. She not only does she not receive it well, I don't think she expects that anyone has feedback to give her. She doesn't even look for feedback, right? Because again, she didn't even ask, what could I have done better? Her immediate thing was, y'all got an issue because I'm the one that's almost going home. Well, you almost going home, not because of them,
right?
Because of you,
right?
So, trying to make sure we covered everything.
Oh, yeah. We covered everything.
I think we got everything. Yeah, we spent a lot of time on Cornelius and Camille.
Yeah,
and Shay and Olivia and the 13 other personalities that are yet to be discovered and talked about.
It's okay.
Well, we didn't. So remember, there's also the portion where Camille is saying that she did not say what she said.
Oh yeah, we discussed that.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that.
And even to the point where even the hostesses are like,
well, they rewinded like 2 or 3 times. So that's why Tasia walked off, because it's like, y'all supposed to be grown and close to 40, and this is how we acted. Well, this is what you get.
Yeah, that's the word, Kim. She comes off entitled. That's the word. She comes off entitled. Yeah, awesome tree. Yeah, she leads with her personality, her career, and not her personality. We never really got to know her.
Right.
So
I agree.
All right.
It is what it is.
What else? I mean, what do y'all think about this new season that's coming up? Because we got a new season that's going to kick right up after this.
Correct.
And we'll get some information for you guys and kind of show you, and we'll get Instagrams and all that. And we'll be putting that out there so you guys can kind of be up to that. But yeah, we're definitely going to review this. Ready to Love is actually the show that we started reviewing when we started our YouTube channel. It's our favorite show that we watch, even though we have some concerns about some of the couples, some of the people that are there, but it's still interesting to watch. It's still good TV.
Everybody loves love.
Yes, everybody loves love.
So,
but not everybody loves being kidnapped.
Anyway, y'all guys have a great night. And we will see you next Friday.
Have a great one. Be blessed. We'll see you all next time. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, the new season looks messy. Better batch of couples. All right, I'm gonna get out because she about to kick me.
I love y'all.
Have a good one. Love y'all. Be blessed.
Peace.